Good morning, you. It is currently 5:27 in the morning for me, and that can only mean one thing. If you didn't see the title of this video, it is a 24-hour reading vlog, and we are going to be starting at 5:30 sharp. But this is no ordinary 24-hour reading vlog. 24-hour season's greetings reading vlog. I'm so excited. I have a stack of books here that are seasonally appropriate, and I have not touched any of these books. I feel like that's the one thing about buying holiday books is that there's only really one time of year that's good for reading them, and it just so happens that it's officially that time of year. So let's quickly go over the books we have, and we can go more in depth about them once we're actually, tackling the books. But to start, we have The Adventures of Santa Claus by Frank L. Baum, as in the Frank L. Baum, who wrote The Wizard of Oz. We have Wreck the Halls by Tessa Bailey, A December to Remember by Jennifer Bayliss, He Knows When You're Awake by Alta Hensley, The Santa Suit by Mary Kay Andrews, The Christmas Murder Game by Alexandra Benedict, and The Most Wonderful Crime of the Year by Allie Carter. This is our stack. However, we're going to start with a little Myrtle puzzle. One of my girlfriends last year had mentioned getting a Myrtle book and absolutely loving it. So as soon as I saw this one, I was like, well, obviously I need to add it to the collection. And the fun thing about this one in particular is that it has 24 puzzles to solve. So you could kind of treat this like a little advent calendar if you wanted to. I thought it would be fun to try and do one of these this morning while we sip our coffee. Sound like a plan? Because it is officially 5:32 and we're a couple minutes late. So if you don't know the rules of the game, well, the rules of the game kind of vary depending on who's hosting the 24-hour reading challenge and or vlog or whatever you want to call it. But for me, I'm going to do my darndest to start at 5:30 and go until 5:30 tomorrow morning. That is the plan. I thought starting earlier in the day might be a little more beneficial because typically I start to tap out around 2:30, 3 o'clock. That's when I want to take like a nap. Figured, well, the earlier I start towards that time, maybe we can actually do 24 hours straight. So let's make our coffee and start our little Christmas Myrtle. And you don't want the answer for day one. Skip ahead. So I said, who did it? Dame Obsidian with the manuscript in the English Village. Let's see. Would you look at that? Would you look at that? Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I for sure was like, this can't be right. This can't be right. Because I totally thought she would be the dead one, not the person. But then again, that does make sense because she didn't win whatever this award was. So, yeah. Interesting. Very interesting. Let's read, though. Like, what's going on? What was the situation, shall we? There was only one downside to solving a murder in the newspapers, and that was that you couldn't actually accuse the murderer to their face. But why not? Deductive Logico decided that if he was going to solve a case, at the very least, he should go announce his findings. So Logico boarded the next available flight for the sleepy English village, and he got ready to make his big announcement. And on the flight, he looked through his list of 25 suspects and discovered that Dame Obsidian was on the list. She had visited the North Pole and had been a suspect. Well, not anymore. Logical thought. And he crossed her name off the list. He hadn't changed his mind about Santa. It was an obvious impossibility. How could one man deliver all those presents in one night? It was clearly a ridiculous thing to believe. But just in case. So the whole bit about this is Detective Logico, who's obviously our detective, continuously saying how he doesn't believe in Santa, even though he's at the North Pole, meeting all these people, went to Santa's workshop, met the elves, saw the reindeers, the whole shebang. But he's still I don't know. I don't think Santa's real, but I'm still gonna try and solve this case for you guys. I kind of want to do day 2. Nah, we're gonna try and do one of these a day, like a proper advent calendar. Oh, what are you doing? Okay, y'all. So I do need to make a quick run to the library to drop off some books. I may or may not be at Florence and have a book overdue by a couple of days. And I have a bunch of other books I have to return anyways. So we're gonna run there. But while we're running there, I want to start an audiobook. I don't have an audiobook for literally any of the books in my physical stack, but since we're gonna be running an errand and I'm driving, I do still want to consume something. Last night I looked up a bunch of seasonal audiobooks. I actually didn't find a lot. I found The Mistletoe Murder, which is a 3-hour audiobook by P.D. James. I'm hesitant to do that one because I read another book by P.D. James called I forget what it's called, but it was pretty much like a murder mystery involving the group from Pride and Prejudice. But the way P.D. James just completely recharacterized Elizabeth, I hated it so much. I literally read the prologue and I think 2 chapters and I was like, no. The prologue was also actually extremely long. And in the prologue, that's kind of where you got not only reacquainted with all of the characters, but you also had P.D. James completely recharacterized. Is that even a word? Completely changed the character who is Elizabeth Bennet. He pretty much was like, oh no, she was a gold digger all along and she only married Darcy for his wealth. Then I also have A Town Divided by Christmas by Orson Scott Card. That's also a quick 3-hour one. And then I have A Little Christmas Spirit by Sheila Roberts. That one's 9 hours, so that's a full-length book. So I think I'm either going to do A Town Divided by Christmas or The Mistletoe Murder. I thought Orson Scott Card wrote sci-fi. Isn't he the one who wrote Ender's Game? A Town Divided by Christmas it began with a quarrel over which newborn should be the baby Jesus in the town's Christmas pageant. Decades later, 2 scientists arrived to study small-town genetic patterns, only to run up against the invisible walls that split the leading citizens into 2 congregations that can only be joined by love and forgiveness, and maybe a little deception, because there might be some things that people just don't need to know. What? Okay, yeah, so Orson Scott Card is the guy who writes sci-fi. What is this book? Okay, we might do that one, but let's see what Mistletoe Murder is all about. 4 previously uncollected stories from one of the great mystery writers of our time, Swift Cunning Murder Mysteries. Oh, so this is 4 little short stories in one. Honestly, I'm just so intrigued by A Town Divided by Christmas that I believe I am obligated to check this one out and let you guys know if it's any good.
Blackstone Publishing presents
Here we are.
A Town Divided by Christmas by Orson Scott Card.
I know it's stupid early. It's it is 7 o'clock in the morning. But thankfully, let me know in the comments down below, actually, does your library do this? Does your library system offer this? It's definitely newer. I think in the past year, my county's library system offers self-service hours. So pretty much from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m., you have access to library, even on holidays. 365, 7 days a week from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. Enough yapping. Let's go return some books, shall we? It's a little chilly outside. Oh, thank God. Instincts feel the rhythm of the body moving, baby. Oh, na 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 na, whatever you wanna do. Oh, chilly this morning. So chilly that I went to open my passenger side door to put my bag in the passenger seat, and it wouldn't open because it was just like a little too frosty. It was a little too frosty. And I should probably actually scrape off my windshield because this is what it currently looks like. I mean, you can see right there what it currently looks like. That's what my entire car looks like right now. That is what the entire car looks like right now. So, yeah, I should probably scrape it off. Okay. Let's go to the library. And we do it all the time. Oh. So there's like a little cute coffee shop by the library. We might need to check it out. I thought Orson's Got Card was dead, but they just referenced Facebook. Anyways. Oh, it's locked. Due to building issues. Boo! I was so excited to see if we could find some more books. Oh, please donate books at desk.
Thanks for using the library book drop. The door will close when you are finished.
You gonna take it? Matches all of them. They open at 9, so maybe we'll come back. We'll see. We have plenty of books. But let's go check out the coffee shop, shall we? Okay, but I do have to look up Orson's Got Card. At first, it didn't even register that they mentioned Facebook. And then like 2 seconds later, I was like, wait a second. Why are they mentioning Facebook? Granted, you could mention Facebook like, oh God. I know I had a Facebook account in 2007. Like end of 2007 is when I started my Facebook. Oh my God, that was almost 20 years ago. I'm so old. Oh, he's only 74. I don't know why. I thought he was so much older. He wrote Ender's Game. Okay. I knew. I was like, this is a sci-fi dude. Anyways, this book is so funny so far. I think it's so funny. So we met our two main characters. We have, I don't remember their names because I don't remember their names, but we have our female scientist and we have a male scientist, and they're talking to their professor. They're in their doctorate's program, I'm pretty sure. What are they doing? They have to go do a study in... Pretty much the study is there's isolated groups, but not a lot of isolated groups left in America. And what they mean by that, pretty much peer groups, like genetic pools that are like pure, and there is no outside resources adding to the community of human beings. There's no mixing, okay? But it's also not they kept mentioning inbreeding, but also, they were like, no, this isn't inbreeding. I don't know. Anyways, so they're going to, of all places, y'all, of all places, they're going to Appalachia. They're going to the Appalachian Mountains. Specifically, the portion that is in South Carolina. They're going to go to a town and pretty much do a genetic testing. I don't know. The big thing that our female person, her name I think is Spunky. It's a very unique name. She was mentioning how the interesting phenomena of when someone leaves their hometown, but then returns before having any children and like pretty much settling down and having children in their hometown, and kind of like what causes that? Is that like nature, nurture, genetics? What is it? It's very interesting. And also the professor was all like, yeah, when you go, be sure, put on your Christmas spirit. But yeah, let's go check out this coffee shop. I know I had a coffee, but let's go check it out. It was so cute in there. I like kind of chickened out and I didn't bring my camera in there, but I did bring my phone and I got a little bit, but a part of me wanted to do couple like close-up shots. I'm sure they wouldn't have cared, but so awkward when it comes to like filming out in public. I do want to get better at it though. But yeah, so I got their specialty, their seasonal specialty, which is the caramel pecan pie latte. And yeah, I got a little 12-ouncer. It's still hot, so I don't know how great of a test. Oh my god, this candied pecan is delicious. Oh my god. I would totally just like go out and support more local coffee shops if just in general coffee wasn't so expensive these days. Like whether it's a Starbucks, a Caribou, a mom and pop shop, they're all expensive these days. But oh my god. This was like 8 something and I gave a 15% tip. So it bumped it up to like $9.25, $9.50-ish. Anyways, that's Black Sheep and South St. Paul. That is quite the rainbow. What we made you do. Look at it. Okay, I may or may not have made a pit stop at Target. Mostly because I just wanted to like listen to the audiobook more in the car. I actually went to not my usual Target so I could have a longer drive. I got a bunch of cute stuff, but I'll show you the cute stuff at home. Did not find what I was looking for. I was hoping to find the Stray Kids accordions for Do It, but this Target didn't have any. My Target has them, they just don't have the one I'm looking for. And I really want to try and find Hyunjin and Chris organically. Like, I know where I can buy it online if I have to. I just want to like find it organically, so. Because I found Felix and Hyunjin for Karma organically. And I was actually really surprised to find Felix like right out on opening day. What's in there? Time for our little haul. Also, this book is so funny. It is so funny, okay? So I need you guys to read it ASAP. I've literally been giggling every 5 seconds to this book, so FYI. First and foremost, Chris has a Jeep, and I like buying him seasonal ducks. This one I'm actually gonna duck him. I don't think he's going anywhere this morning. He will be going somewhere tomorrow morning, so we're gonna put this on the Jeep. Okay, next, I found this cute little hooded blanket that looks like a little tree in the dollar section at Target. So I thought this would be fun for her to use while she's over. And obviously she takes all this stuff home too. Then I found this little reindeer plushie. This was so cute, y'all. I am low-key wanting to go back. But they have 3 different kinds of these little like snack movie time sets. I think that's everything I got for my niece for when she's coming over. So for today, we're gonna make some Grinch cookies. Then I also got cranberry juice, maybe make a fun little mocktail. So I've already done all my Christmas wrapping this year. I think there's maybe like 1 or 2 gifts that I still have to wrap. But I did find these adorable Peanuts gift tags. Now I'm not gonna use them this year, but I thought this could be like fun little inspo for next year because I do hold on to like any unused wrapping paper or anything like that. And I just have like a giant bag that I put all my gift wrapping supplies in. Just in case. Energy drinks. I got the Dream Float Alani is like the best Alani flavor, to be so totally for real with y'all. I feel like all the other ones are kind of gross, but this one is the best. And then I also got the Fuji Apple and Ginger, which is the winter edition for Red Bull. And this one is really good. I got a couple books. They were buy 2, get 1 free. So I got The Will of the Many. This was the only copy in the store I could find, so I got this. I have heard so many good things about this book, so obviously I had to get it. I personally prefer this cover over the original cover. This one screams like fantasy, sci-fi, epicness going on here. Whereas like I know a lot of people like the original cover, so they say. But for me, like the original cover, specifically with the name of the book, gives like self-help dude bro vibes. I don't know why. Just every time I saw it just organically before people actually started talking about it, it looked like a self-help book. I was like, what is this? This is very strange. Then I also found kind of like Myrtle It's Murder by Christmas, 25 puzzles to solve. So, and again, another kind of like almost advent calendar situation. This one is more like storytelling. So like more of a whodunit situation and less of a puzzle problem solving situation. And then finally, these are just so cute. I did get these Bullseye socks. Bullseye is just my favorite. Like, I've always loved Bullseye. I think he's the best mascot ever. And so they actually do have a Bullseye ugly Christmas sweater. Really cute. Same kind of like design as this with the knits and everything. But I was like, I can't justify buying the sweater. However, I can justify buying a $6 pair of socks. And they're like really thick and just comfy. So I was like, yes, I can get these. But yeah, that's my little haul. I'm going to keep listening to this audiobook because y'all, it is so fun. I'm going to see if I can actually find the physical copy of it because it's just so funny. I'm so glad I picked this one. I'm having such a good time with it.
My arm may be full. Spongy finished a couple of leaves like the things of men. Absolutely believed in resurrection. Projects and their jobs. Their sudden rush of tears when they quoted a poem that main public servant, and he by good thing I know you're not tracking our inbreed. That's 2 pageants at the same time for 87 meaning from context. I knew the word a horned dung beetle.
Okay, so I just finished, what is it called? I feel like it had Christmas in the name. I just finished A Town Divided by Christmas by Orson Scott Card. It was so cute. I'm not gonna lie, probably like the last 10 minutes got a little overly cheesy. It is a short little book, so it was kind of like fast paced. There is a little bit of romance, so that element kind of slapped you in the face because of how fast paced it was. But I would say overall, I actually really enjoyed it. Again, like the last 10 minutes, maybe even like the last 5 minutes got a little too cheesy for me, but it was really cute. It wasn't as sci-fi as I thought it was because actually it wasn't sci-fi at all. The only science element is that our 2 main characters, Spunky, her name is, what was her name? Delilah Spunk, but she went by Spunky. Her and her counterpart, Ellie, it wasn't Elliot, but it started with an EL situation. They were, I already told you guys, they're scientists. And even initially, like in the beginning, it definitely felt more futuristic, but then I think that was just like their science nerdy brains working against them, making it sound futuristic, because once they got to like this small town in Appalachia, South Carolina, it then got definitely more down-to-earth Hallmark vibes. Just at the end of the world. It was actually really cute, and again, I was giggling pretty much the entire book. So I would highly recommend if you just need like a quick little something. I also would say the audiobook was pretty good. It was only one narrator, but I think she did a pretty good job at not making the men sound too comical. I feel like a lot of times, whether it's a male narrator or a female narrator, sometimes they can make like the opposite sex sound too cartoonish and comical, which then just like completely throws off the whole vibe of the audiobook because you have them being whatever gender they are talking normally, and then all of a sudden they're doing like a comically male voice. And it's like, this just sounds ridiculous. I think we're gonna move my desk while listening to an audiobook. I don't really want, maybe I don't really want to listen to Mistletoe Murder because that was 4 different short stories in it. Okay, I have made the executive decision to check out The Most Wonderful Crime of the Year by Ali Carter. I have the audiobook, obviously, but let me tell you guys what this book is about, shall I? The bridge is out. The phones are down, and the most famous mystery writer in the world just disappeared out of a locked room 3 days before Christmas. Meet Maggie Chase and Ethan Wyatt. She's the new queen of cozy mystery. He's Mr. Big Time Thriller guy. She hates his guts. He thinks her name is Marcy, no matter how many times she's told him otherwise. But when they both accept a cryptic invitation to attend a Christmas house party at the English estate of a reclusive fan, neither is expecting their host to be the most powerful author in the world, Eleanor Ashley, the Duchess of Death herself. That night, the weather turns, and the next morning, Eleanor is gone. She vanished from a locked room, and Maggie has to wonder, is Eleanor in danger? Or is it all some kind of test? Is Ethan the competition? Or is he the only person in that snowbound mansion she can trust? As the snow gets deeper and the stakes get higher, every clue will bring Maggie and Ethan closer to the truth and each other. Because this Christmas, these two rivals are going to have to become allies, and maybe more, if they have any hope of saving Eleanor. Assuming they don't kill each other first, of course. Okay, that sounds so cute. I'm very excited that I decided to go with this one. Let's start the audiobook and crack into this project of mine. Instead of like this, we're going to be facing this.
The Most Wonderful Crime of the Year. A novel by Ali Carter. Prologue. Excerpt from Inspector Patel's official police interrogation of Margaret Chase. Do you think you can do that?
Don't know if I like this or not. I think I'll keep it. My one thing though is, let me pause this audiobook real quick, is that it's super close to the wall right now. The reason I want to move the desk is because with it where it was, it always just felt so close to the bed. I hated how close it felt to the bed. I have a blanket I need to work on. It's just my book blanket. Obviously make those Grinch cookies, which is so not labor intensive. It's not like I'm making them from scratch. I want to put up the Christmas tree. Here's the thing though, for the Christmas tree, I don't think I'm going to put ornaments on it this year. Last year what I did is I put it up and just put it up and put the star on it. And I actually really liked just having the naked tree with the lights on it. But I think the Christmas tree will be later today. I feel like I don't really have any other holiday type things to do with you guys. We'll figure it out. I think I'm done with the desk situation for today. What does she know? That's a great question. So far in this book, we have been invited to the legendary Duchess of Death, Miss Eleanor's house. We have flown on a plane with our arch nemesis, Ethan Walker. Ethan Wyatt has done nothing but flirt with us ferociously. We've met all the other invitees. We've had a giant snowstorm. Of course there's a giant snowstorm. So we're all stuck in this giant estate. And our inviter, the Duchess of Death herself, has disappeared. It is interesting though, because we just had a section where Maggie decided to... she was told something by Deborah, who I'm pretty sure is her publisher, or her agent, probably her agent. Deborah told Maggie something before she went on this trip, pretty much saying, you better fucking go on this trip. It's a once in a lifetime opportunity. And so Maggie is now like, Eleanor's missing suspiciously. And so she ring, calls up Miss Deborah and starts to leave a voicemail, but unfortunately can't finish because she loses service. And yeah, that's kind of where we've left off so far. I hate when it's like enemies to lovers. Right. What does it say? Rivals to lovers, because it always seems like in any book that like promotes that as its shtick, 9 times out of 10, it's always one-sided. And it is so totally one-sided for Maggie. Like Maggie's the one who doesn't really like Ethan. Ethan, I think, is just kind of either oblivious or he's acting oblivious. One of the two things. I think I want to order a pizza, though. Like a Domino's, specifically. I don't know, something about that sounds really good. But also at the same time, we have so much leftovers from Thanksgiving. But also pizza just sounds really good. Pizza has been ordered. Cookies have been baked. And our two mystery writers are getting extremely close. Maggie's still under this weird impression that, like, Ethan has so much disdain for her. But, okay, so her big thing is that at the very beginning of the book, right, they're at the company or the publishing house holiday party. Something you need to know about Maggie is she recently got divorced within the past year. And she overhears Ethan talking with another guy. The other guy was being like super rude, super disgusting. I think his name was Larry, who was being the dick. He was like, oh, well, you know she's divorced and that he left her, right? And then Ethan, after like the conversation happens and the other guy leaves, he's in the hallway kind of by himself and he says to himself, I'm not surprised he left her. And initially that sounds like a really jerkish thing to say, but then also I think Ethan has always noticed Maggie and has probably always kind of like liked her or had some sort of admiration for her. And so he's he's kind of done like the schoolyard bully thing where I like you, so not necessarily that he's ever been mean to her, but he's kind of just been like indifferent or like forgets her name, calls her something other than Maggie. And so I think he's always kind of like done that thing. But in the long run, I think he's always liked her. And so when he said, I'm not surprised he left her, I think he was kind of more alluding to like, I'm not surprised like a guy like him couldn't stand being with someone as amazing as Maggie. Something along those lines, you know. I think that's where Ethan was coming from. And so, yeah, there's just a lot going on currently. We have this inspector guy, think like Hercule Poirot style. He was one of the invited people to the party. And so he shows up and he's like, oh, I finally made it through this crazy storm, but don't try like heading back because there was a bridge, like the bridge like went out or something like that. But the crazy thing is he just magically shows up after they hear gunshots and after this guy is found dead. I don't think he's actually dead. I think he's just like comatose. And I think that's suspicious that this inspector dude just like randomly shows up. I'm having so much fun with this book. It also feels so much later than in the day than it actually is. Not even 5 o'clock yet. 4:51. So we have under 13 hours left. I'm really enjoying the book. I was expecting to at least be done with this one and getting started with the third one. I wouldn't say my brain's not working right now, but I'm also kind of like, I could easily fall asleep right now. Also, I have this really cute like Christmas puzzle I want to do. And I think that might be something to do with another audiobook. And I also just want to take like a bubble bath right now. I think I might take a bubble bath right now and continue listening to the audiobook. It's really cute, y'all. And also, I would say this is just like, even though the title of the book is The Most Wonderful Crime of the Year and it looks very Christmassy, this is kind of just like a good all year round book. Maybe not all year round book, definitely like a wintertime book. So like November, December, January, February, if you're in a state like Minnesota, March, April, May. But it has like that cozy wintry vibe with romance and mystery, and I don't know, I just love it. I think this is really sweet, and I want more books like this. So if you have read The Most Wonderful Crime of the Year, and if you have other books that feel very similar to this, drop them in the comments down below, because this is so cute and I'm having such a good time with it. I don't usually bust out the microphone, but my neighbors have people over, and unfortunately, the walls in this apartment, I wouldn't say are paper thin, but they're thin enough that anytime people get a little excited, you can hear them. I did take a bath, thus the outfit change. I made myself a cutesy drink. It's literally just apple cider with pumpkin spice, a little swirl of the orange rind. As I was taking my bath, I got through 2 chapters, and then all of a sudden it got to a part where I'm like, this may or may not lead to a spicy scene. I don't think this book is going to get spicy, but I was like, I prefer reading spicy scenes if and when they happen. Personally, I don't know, something about audiobooks 9 times out of 10, like they just don't do spicy scenes well. So I'd rather just read it. I think what I want to do is once I start to get tired, that's when I want to crack open the Christmas tree and try and put that up. But with that said, I'll probably pull out the Christmas tree now so that if the urge to put up the Christmas tree hits me at like 3 a.m, I'm not having to like, walk into the bedroom and yank it out while somebody's sleeping. I think we're going to listen to the audiobook. Well, no, first I'm going to read this one chapter. See what happens. And then we're going to crack out the cookies, maybe make another spice drink or something just warm and cozy, and work on this puzzle I have. It's such a cute puzzle, y'all. Oh my God. It's so cute. It's like Christmas, but Candyland. Oh, it's perfect. I loved every second of this book. 5 stars, easy, without a doubt. Oh my god, this was so fun. It was so cute. How can you not? How can you not? I'm just gonna keep repeating myself. So much fun. It was so cute. The ending was sheer perfection. I was like, I hate epilogues. Why? There was like an article excerpt at the end, because throughout the whole book there had been like these little excerpts, nothing crazy, just like little ones here and there. And so there was like a newspaper excerpt at the end, and it was kind of perfect how it ended with that. But this epilogue was a 10 out of 10 banger and was even more perfect. Like, I'm so glad we got the ending we got with this book. It was like, I was getting teary-eyed at the end just because there were certain dynamics, family dynamics, character dynamics that we got to learn throughout the book, and they all kind of like wrapped themselves up in a pretty little bow at the very end, and it was absolutely lovely. Oh my god, I love this book. I kind of wish like we had ended with this book because it was so cute, and I don't think any other book on the list is gonna come anywhere near close to it, but we'll see. We'll see what we can find. I have located the audiobook for The Christmas Murder Game. So this is what we're gonna read next while I work on my puzzle. Editing Kayla here. So I realized while editing that somehow I lost the footage of me talking about The Christmas Murder Game. I ended up DNFing this book just before the 50% mark. I think I was at like 46% of the way through the book. It was just so boring. The premise of The Christmas Murder Game, there's this house, and every single year the family do games, and whoever like wins the games gets something phenomenal. Well, this year they're all adults, they're all grown up. There have been a lot of deaths in the family, so like there's this one generation. They arrive to the house to pretty much win the house. Like, the fortune of the family goes to the winner of this game. At the 46% mark, we had met everyone, we had learned all their backstories, and we had done one game. One game. And also, the premise of this book is that people are supposed to be dropping like flies. It's like, oh, they start doing the games, and then all of a sudden people start dying. By 46% of the way through, we had done one of the quests, and no one's dead. And a book called The Christmas Murder Game, I don't know. Maybe we interweave like the familial backstories while also going through the games. You know, just a thought. And it's so funny because I DNF'd this book. One of my really good friends, she's a teacher, and at their school in the staff lounge, they have like a little free library. So my last two like unhauls of books, I've just given to her to put in their little free library in the staff lounge. She told me, she's like, hey, so I just finished The Christmas Murder Game. I had not told her my thoughts, feelings, and opinions about this book. I had just like unhauled it with a bunch of other books and was like, here you go, have fun. So she obviously picked it up, read it. And she's like, hey, I just finished that. What did you think about the book? And I told her, I was like, I DNF'd it. I set it down. I did not finish that book. And a little bit of spoilers. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of spoilers on this book because it is so god-awful boring. She's like, yeah, I didn't like it either. And I was like, yeah, by literally 46%, there was only one challenge done and no one was dead yet. And she's like, yeah, no one died until like the last 2 chapters and then everyone died. And I was like, I'm so glad I DNF'd this book. I am so glad I DNF'd that book, because if I had to wait till like the last few chapters for people to start dropping dead, it was far more like literary fiction than thriller.
And I don't know, something about me, like a book called The Christmas Murder Game. Murder literally being in the title. A little more spice, a little more thriller, suspense. I mean, I guess it was suspenseful in the sense that nothing happens until the very end. So much potential, and it was just thrown away. You're gonna see that I am starting The Santa Suit by Mary Kay Andrews, I believe is the name of the author. Hallmark-esque type book. A woman who just recently got divorced moved into a dilapidated farmhouse. This farmhouse is really well known in the town as being like the Christmas house. It's always jazzed up for the holiday season. The old tenants of the house are no longer with us. I believe the son-in-law or somebody who ended up inheriting the property opted to sell it because there's no one else in the family lineage that could really take the house, and he lived in the cities with his kids, so it's just this house, right? So she recently got divorced. She's moving into the house. She finds a Santa suit, and it has a note in the pocket from a little girl at the time, obviously, who was pretty much asking Santa to bring her father home. And so our main female lead of the story goes on this little side quest throughout the town. First off, getting to know all the townspeople because she's brand new to the area, and also trying to figure out whatever ended up happening with this little girl and her Christmas wish to Santa. Carry on with the video. Mazel tov. We have, it just passed the 4-hour mark. We have 3 hours and 58 minutes left. And I just finished The Santa Suit by Mary Kay Andrews. This was so cute. Ivy, our girl Ivy, she moves to this farmhouse with her cutie little dog Pumpkin. She pretty much becomes like the town's best friend. She's hooking people up. She's making lost connections. She finds a man. I will say, like, the romance element in this kind of, like, slapped you in the face because you could kind of tell that her and Ezra had a little thing for each other. I feel like things escalated very quickly. It was just like all of a sudden they were making out. All of a sudden they went on one date. All of a sudden he's like, I want to get you naked. And I was just like, what? That was wild and crazy, but it was cute. It was very cute. And even though he wanted to get her naked, it was very, very PG. Like, closed door. Not even fade to black, just like closed door moment. Cute, cute, cute. I will say that all the books I've read so far, aside from The Christmas Murder Game, have all been like really cute, fun holiday books to read. But with that noted, we still have the almost 4 hours left
in this reading challenge. It's 1:33. So when was it? Right before I started putting up the Christmas tree, I was definitely starting to like one of those. And then also the reason I stopped working on the puzzle was because I was also starting to kind of like, I was heavily starting to zone out. I think it was like the combination of the puzzle plus the Christmas murder game. I was like, this is not a good combo. What's next? I don't know. I'm debating if I want to do an audiobook or if I want to physically read a book. And then also, I don't really have any books that are like 4-ish hours long. I just grabbed all the books that I have left. So we have Wreck of the Halls by Tessa Bailey, December to Remember by Jenny Bayless, He Knows When You're Awake by Alta Hensley, and then The Life Adventures of Santa Claus by Frank L. Baum. Honestly, I kind of want to read this one because it is like the shortest. It's 136 pages. I think that's pretty doable. So I think I kind of want to read this, and then if I like still finish this early, I do have the Murder by Christmas, and so Myrtle was pretty much just like, here's a bunch of clues, figure it out, like use your little chart to figure things out. But this one is laid out more like an actual story, almost more like a whodunit and less like a puzzle. So I don't know, I feel like this could be fun to do. If I finish this early, we could do one of these. I got to page 7 and I was already starting to doze off. So I actually found a lot of different audiobook variations for this. Like, listen to this sampling, okay? This is not any old audiobook.
Have you heard of the Great Forest of Burzee? Nurse used to sing of it when I was a child. She sang of the big tree trunks standing close together with their...
So I kind of almost want to listen to that.
Chapter 1. Youth, Burzee. Have you heard of the Great Forest of Burzee? Nurse used to sing of it when I was a child. She sang of the big tree trunks standing close together with their roots intertwined. Chapter 2.
Good morning. Good morning. So I may or may not have failed, and like failed in the worst way possible. So last night, I think around 2:30 or so, I was like, I am so tired. I am dozing off. I was probably 3 chapters into the book. I had just talking to you guys, and I was like, you know what I'm gonna do? Crocheting's not keeping me awake. I literally am sipping on an energy drink. That's not keeping me awake. I'm just gonna take a little cat nap. 30 minutes. Easy peasy. Set an alarm. Woke up. Got back to work. However, shortly after that cat nap, I started dozing off again. I could not stay awake for the life of me. Now, could I have gotten up, walked around, pulled out the walking pad, maybe even gone for, I don't know, an actual walk? Sure, but I didn't. And so I think I had an hour and 11 minutes left, and I couldn't cut it. We couldn't hang. Literally had an hour and some change left. And I was like, I can't do this. I can't. And that's like, I think the most frustrating part is how close I was, but how far an hour and 11 minutes felt in my brain. But yeah, the Adventures of Santa Claus was actually really kind of cute. I didn't finish it. I just wanted to show you guys, it's snowing. How gorgeous, how beautiful, how stunning. And wanted to share that with you, plus this little nature preserve. Just tell you guys how miserably I failed. It is currently, I think, just 8 in the morning, so I didn't even sleep for that long once I did go to bed. Now I have to go home and clean up the mess because literally it looks like just all these little activity explosions all over the apartment. I think make a proper breakfast. A good hearty breakfast sounds really good right now. I will say yesterday, even though I did do a little bit of scrolling on my phone, I was not watching anything on the TV, not once. Anyways, y'all, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you enjoyed the video, as chaotic as it was. I hope you have an absolutely wonderful, magical holiday season. I hope if you live in a place that gets snow, you get all the snow in the world, because I love snow. I totally understand once it hits like February, March and you're over it, but December, it feels right. It feels right. But anyways, y'all, have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.
Should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should old acquaintance be forgot and old lang syne?
So pretty outside. I fucking love snow. Fucking love snow.